Okay, so, hello subscribers. Nice to talk to you guys. I don't know what to say. Man, this is more awkward than a octopus trying to detain somebody. Okay. Well, I guess a little brief history of how I know the people in the group would help. I've known Jem and Kesh pretty much since I was like born. They've just kind of always been around. We hadn't really been friends and stuff like that until probably about a year and a half ago. Maybe a bit, yeah, I guess a bit more, about 2 years ago. Yeah, two and a half years. 2.5 years. I met Zeno and Wolf through Kesh, and I've known JJ he's just also kind of been around since about grade 6, so that's kind of how I know everybody. Now how I became a brony, that's a bit more funny. Every summer I go to this camp called Awana Camp, hang out there, and it's pretty awesome, and Atomic was there. I've known him for years. And at Awana, it's a Bible camp, and we do quizzing. It's kind of like, on the passages that we've read, and it's kind of like, it's trivia, and you have to get everything right. And I was up, and I was really, really nervous. So me and Atomic were in the same cabin, and we both had top bunks, so we were like in each other's peripherals, so we would hang out a bunch. And he was just like, hey, and he gave me one of those little McDonald's toys of the My Little Pony. He was like, comb this pony's hair, it calms people's nerves. And I was like, why do you have a pony? But okay, sure. So I started combing the pony's hair, and it was Fluttershy, and it totally calmed me down. And I studied, and I did awesome, and it was cool. And I was just like, why do you have a pony? So he was like, yo, it's this show called My Little Pony, and it's aimed for little girls, but it's ridiculously awesome. And I had heard of the show, and I was just like, wow, that's weird. And then I kind of started thinking to myself, maybe, Atomic's a pretty cool guy. Maybe I should watch this. And it's funny, because I had heard of the show before, as I had previously said. I just never wanted to watch it, because I knew somewhere deep down in my heart that I would like it. What can you do? Anyway, so, yeah. So Atomic was like, hey, sometime we should watch this. And I was like, okay. So just kind of the rest of the week, I would be combing Fluttershy's hair. And he was like, hey, man, try out this pony. And I was like, okay. And I think it was like Rarity or Twilight Sparkle or something like that. And so I started coming and I was like, no, it just feels wrong. So that's when Fluttershy became my favorite of the main 6. Because she was awesome. And still is awesome. So that's kind of, I liked the ponies of themselves and their little McDonald's toy nature. And I enjoyed them in that way. So in a way I was a brony before I'd even seen the show. Fluttershy being my favorite, again, before I'd even seen the show. And on the last day of camp, the Master Scholar, the Scholar. It's hard remembering our fake names sometimes. Anyway, the Scholar came and was like, hey, I have My Little Pony on my laptop. We should watch an episode. So we were like, okay, why not? So I watched it. And to quote the Scholar, the second the show started, when he looked at my face, I've never seen that large of a smile, just because I was, mesmerized by the awesomeness of it. So that's really how I became a brony. So then I watched from season 1 to 2 on my own, just kind of, I'd be sitting there doing something, have that going on the side, watching it, enjoying every minute of it. And then Jem, before we were still kind of friends at that time, not really close, and, obviously we weren't dating because we weren't really friends. So before we were dating and such, she was like, hey, before season 3 starts, my brother is having this big this big, marathon type thing. You should come and hang out. So I was like, okay, sounds good. So I came, and I met everybody, and we all hung out, and then we watched it, and it was awesome. And then Kesh was like, hey, for season 3, we should start to do reactions. Film us, put it on YouTube, see how it goes. And then we talked for 3 hours on the name of the channel and all this and that. And eventually we came out with, Cressy's Reflection. We started doing videos. Apparently people liked us. And to be honest, I was always shocked. I liked the show. I liked how, hanging out with everyone as we watched it. I did not think many people would enjoy watching it, or watching us watch it. I'm still rather shocked. Like, I'll go on the channel and be like, "Ooh, how many people are follow or like subscribe to us?" And every time I'm just like, "Wow, that's pretty intense." And then last time we were doing, we were doing a live stream and we were playing Monopoly.
Then we have a gap.
I'm gonna go to Murmur and get like 200 bucks and then go to.
No, you need to roll an 8. You need to roll an 8.
Right.
And everyone's like, we had like, what was it, a couple hundred people watching us play Monopoly, and I was just like, people like us enough to just sit there for like 3 hours and watch us play Monopoly. So it's, it's definitely cool. It's a very cool feeling. Again, kind of never really get used to it. So mainly just thank you to everybody who, subscribe and stay subscribed, because I know sometimes we go a bit without any videos, or at least any reactions of newer stuff, and that can be kind of frustrating. Just, we can't meet up sometimes, and it sucks. But thank you to everyone who stays subscribed despite that, and for, just commenting, because that's probably my favorite bit of this, is because if it was just numbers, I wouldn't really care. But actually reading everybody's comments of like, "Oh, that was cool, you guys are really funny," or this and that and that, and it's just like, I enjoy reading the comments. If we had like 100 subscribers, but we got just as many comments, I would be just as happy, because it's really awesome to hear from you guys. So thanks for commenting and just following us, and yeah, it's been a really fun time, and hopefully the times just keep on going. So thanks, and yeah, thanks for all the 10,000 of you, and I guess 10,000 plus who have subscribed. Oh wait, there's more! Okay, so, quick thing. I had a bit more to add just to what I was saying. Welcome to my room. So, quickly, this is something that really no one even in the group knows, because I haven't really told anybody. But effectively, nobody of my family, or really anybody else aside from the people in the group, know that I'm a brony. It's my secret bit of my life. Not that I'm ashamed, just I don't think they would understand. Mainly because people don't understand why people are bronies until they watch the show, and I know my family will never do that, so I just kind of save a couple steps and it makes life easier. That's not the point. Essentially, when I had watched season 1 and 2, I liked the show, obviously. That was before we started doing reactions, or that Jem invited me to come to Kesh's party, or parties, I guess, but I was pretty much going to just stop watching the show, because I was like, what if one of my family members finds out, they'd never really let it down. I was just going to pretty much give it up, just because, I didn't really care at that point. So then Jem invited me to Kesh's party, and I was like, hey, last hurrah kind of thing. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, this would be the last time I'd ever watch the show, and then I'd just drop it, leave it behind, and that would be the end of it. So we watched it, and Kesh had the video up, and then he was like, we should do our own channel. And in the moment, I didn't want to be, I didn't want to ruin it. So I was like, yeah, we should. And I wasn't really sure if I was actually going to be a part of it or not. And so, then Kesh was like, hey, a lot of people are really, really liking this. And I read the comments, and I was just like, I decided at that point to continue. And I mean, at that point, obviously later me and Jem started dating, and me and Kesh and everyone else became really, really good friends. So that was also part of it. But originally what really changed my mind was just some of the comments and stuff like that. And I mean, just like the atmosphere with other bronies, because I'd always just kind of watched it, in my basement. So just like the atmosphere and the fact that people seem to like it. That's really what brought me back. So if it wasn't for the fans, I wouldn't continue to be a brony, and through that, me and Cash and Wolf and Zeno and JJ wouldn't be as close, and I dare say me and Jem might not even be dating, just because that was one of the things that before we were really, really good friends kind of clicked, and so we continued to see each other, and then that kind of grew into us dating. So without the fans, that might not have happened. So an extra thank you guys for that. Also, one last thing shout out to the random human who yelled at me at McDonald's when I was working there because they recognized me from the channel. No idea what their name was. I was going to ask, but they drove away to get their food before I could say anything. So yeah, random shout out to you, crazy stranger who yelled at me. Okay, thanks. Bye.